المؤمنين Aisha, the mother of believers. We all know that all the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's wife, all his wives, they are called the mothers of believer. According to the Quran, Allah said, "Wazwajuhu ummahatuhum." So believing in them as our mother is also part of faith. Is part of faith. So we shouldn't defame them. We shouldn't say bad of them because they are our mothers. They are also our mothers because we can't get married to them after the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
لا يزال الخير حيا لا يزال إن في الدنيا سلاما وظلال أخبر الأيام أنها في وصال قم بنا وانظر لآيات الجمال قم بنا وانظر لآيات الجمال.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. About Al-Mu'mineen Aisha, the mother of believers, Aisha. Her name is Aisha bint Abu Bakr Siddiq, Abdullah bin Uthman al-Taymi al-Qurashi. So the name of her father is Abdullah bin Uthman al-Taymi al-Qurashi, the most beloved companion of the Prophet, the most beloved friend of the Prophet. So the Prophet got married to the daughter of his most beloved friend, who was Abu Bakr Siddiq. So Aisha was born in Islam. She was the youngest wife of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and even younger than the Prophet's daughter Fatima radiallahu anha. So the Prophet loved Aisha so much that she became the most beloved wife of the Prophet. When the Prophet was asked about the most beloved to him, the Prophet mentioned Aisha. So she is the most beloved wife to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And she is a knowledgeable woman, an honorable role model to all the Muslims. She is a great scholar, like she was a great scholar. Also, we are still benefiting from her narrations, what she narrated about the Prophet. She narrated so many hadiths about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And hadith is up to 2,210 hadiths, narrations about the Prophet. In the history of Islam, no other women or no other woman has narrated such huge amounts of hadiths about the Prophet. But Aisha, she narrated 2,210 hadiths. Even when she was young, she just spent 8 years with the Prophet because she got engaged to the Prophet when she was 6 years old and got married to the Prophet when she was 9. And she lived with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam for maybe for 9 years, because when she was 18, the Prophet passed away. So within 8 years, she narrated 2,210 hadiths about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is to show us that she was eloquent and she was knowledgeable, a great scholar, that she used to teach the men of their time, the great Sahabis. She would sit down and teach them about the religion. So she's not just young, but she was very good and knowledgeable scholar, honorable role model to us Muslims. You can also learn about your religion and understand it. Let Aisha radiallahu anha be a role model to you. So she also narrated the famous hadith of the Prophet that we are all using till today, like the hadith, the dua we say in the last 10 nights of Ramadan. If you remember, we say, Allahumma innaka afuwun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anna. So she narrated this hadith about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam when she asked the Prophet that, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if I should realize this night, or if I should know this night, what should I say in it? Then the Prophet told her that she should say, Allahumma innaka afuwun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anna. So from how we knew about the dua we should be saying in the last 10 nights of Ramadan. So she is the only virgin of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet didn't marry another virgin except for Aisha radiallahu anha. And her marriage to the Prophet was also a revelation from Allah. Allah showed her to the Prophet in his dream twice. And this is also to tell us that a marriage to the Prophet is also a permission from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have so many things to talk about Aisha radiallahu anha. Inshallah, watch out for my next video where I will be discussing about her marriage with the Prophet, how she became married to the Prophet. And also I'm going to be talking about the misconceptions people misinterpret about the Prophet getting married to a child. From what I've said above and everything I've said, we should know that Aisha is not a child. She is a mature one, honorable scholar, a child that narrated 2,210 hadiths. She is physically prepared to be married to the Prophet. And if we should listen to many things she has said about the Prophet, she said the Prophet has never abused her before, that she has never enjoyed any other than how the Prophet used to treat her. So she herself is telling us how beautiful her husband was to her, mashallah, and yet some people misinterpret it and say child abuse. They want to stab our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam by condemning his action. And even at the time of the Arabs, it was normal thing to get married to children at the younger age. So the story of her marriage with the Prophet, inshallah, I'm going to be discussing about that in my next video so we can understand better. So inshallah, see you in my next video. Thank you so much for listening. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.